Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Very much welcome to this final conference of the WeWork project. I'm Emmanuel Mikos. I'm European Affairs Advisor at ELO, and I'm very happy to moderate this last session of our WeWork project. So just to start, I would like also to introduce to you all our partners. We have HGPB, who was the coordinator of this project, started in November 2018. We have also as additional partner Biotechnikę Center NAKLO from Slovenia. We have also the Asocjację Cukremienno-Zemedalstwu from Czech Republic. We have the Centrum Doradztwa Rolniczego, the branch in Kraków from Poland, COAG from Spain, On Project from Spain, and also ELO. To start this conference, I would like to show you some answers we asked using the Mentimeter polling. That's very interesting, I think, to open this discussion with everyone. So if I could ask only to put the Mentimeter results now on to show to you and to show it with everyone. You are also able to answer those questions directly when registering. So the first question was, according to the most recent data, what percentage of farms across the EU is managed by women? And we should be able now to see the results. I need only to check if that's arriving. I don't see the results yet, so I will ask my technical team only to recheck if the Mentimeter is working. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you very much. We can see them. More than 50% of the answers went to 50% of the farms across the EU are managed by women. And the correct answer is actually it's 30% of farms is managed by women in the EU countries. So it's also a good beginning, I would say, for our further discussion. If I could ask now for the next slide, the next question was about a gender gap, and do you think what is the average and the difference of EU earn between men and women? So you can see here the answers were much more correct, as more than 53% of people answered that the gender gap in salaries is between 14 and 16%, which is the correct answer. The next one was also, as we were working on different case studies, the question was which countries would be the most interesting for you to discover those case studies. And as the answers were Spain, Poland, and Poland, France, and Slovenia, I'm very happy also to confirm that we have our speakers coming from those countries, so they will be also able to share their expertise from the field from those countries. And the last question were much more about your own impressions. So we were asking you when registering to give us 3 words you are using to describe the multifunctional farming. And here the biggest amount of answers were diversification, sustainability, and interconnection, which is also very interesting, and we will certainly come back to this one during our Q&A session. And the last question we asked you during the Mentimeter polling was, in what ways do you think the employability of rural women can be improved? And here you were able to share with you and with us your thoughts, and we will use them also for the final reporting for this rewards project Erasmus. So now I'm very happy also to give the floor to Jacopo Benedetti, who is representing the On project, so working with us on long time on various projects also, and also on this one. Jacopo is an agronomist by training, but I think you run more than 40 European projects also together with ELO. So I'm giving you now the floor also to present and to have a deep dive in the reward project, and we will start only by a video on the reward project itself.
Reward is an Erasmus Plus project. It's about raising the employability of women in rural areas. The EU recognises that women play an important role in conserving cultural heritage. This is through building and consolidating regional identity. The Reward project will develop a range of training material in order to help women manage in a professional way their multifunctional activities relating to agriculture.
So, Jacopo, the floor is yours, and please present us the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here to wrap up this project that took more than 2 years. So first of all, I would like to thank all the project partners, and especially in this occasion, ILO, for organizing this final conference. And also I would like to thank all the attendees. I know that we are getting used more and more to stay a long time in front of the computer to attend this kind of events, but it's still something to appreciate, and it's still an effort. So thank you to all the attendees. I'm going to share the screen. Please confirm that is working. Okay, it's working, right?
Yes.
Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is we'll be presenting the project and the activities that we carried out, and especially the results of our project. So first of all, I will start with a short introduction about the financing framework of the project. As has been mentioned already, the project was funded by the Erasmus Plus program. It started in 2018, and it's about to finish. So we have like 2 weeks left, and the project then will be finished at the end of April 2021. As it has been mentioned already by Emma, it was the partnership was really a female-based partnership. So I hope that I will be able to represent it in the right way. And it was made by 7 partners from 5 European countries with quite different profiles amongst them. The coordinator was the French Association of Wheat and Cereal Producer. Then we have the ILO, is an umbrella organization representing European landowners based in Belgium, in Brussels. Then we had 2 farmer associations, one from Spain and the other one from the Czech Republic. A vocational education and training school in the farming sector, a training center also in the farming sector in Poland, and then us on project that we are a consultancy company based in Spain that deals basically with European funded projects. So what is the reason behind Reward projects? So we are all aware of the gender gap between women and men across all the sector of the society. And we thought that we should try to contribute to reducing this gender gap that is affecting not only the professional life, but also the private life of women across Europe. On this slide, we can see a few data. Some of them have been already mentioned by Emma through the Mentimeter poll, and we know that there is a clear salary gap affecting women, and there are also some gaps related to the private life, including, for instance, who is the responsible within the family of the housework, and also who is responsible of caring for others, especially children and elderly people. And those gaps are especially relevant and even wider in some cases in rural areas, due to some of the traditional characteristics of rural areas and how the labor market is composed in the rural areas themselves. On the other side, we notice that there are some possibilities to reduce this gap that are based on the structure of farms within the European Union. What I mean by this, as Emma mentioned, we noticed that 30% of the European farm are owned by women. And what is relevant is that, generally speaking, those farms are smaller, which means that are less intensive farms in some cases, and also that are farms that are strictly their territory, their traditions, and to their cultural and natural heritage. And also there is a general agreement on the fact that women are often recognized as guardians of rural traditions. And so we thought that there could be a possibility of reducing the gap that we mentioned by working on these aspects. So basically, the project, as I mentioned before, Erasmus Plus is a European program for education and training, aimed at providing some training resources for women in order to make them able to develop entrepreneurial initiative, and not any kind of entrepreneurial initiative in rural areas, but especially those that are related to multifunctional farming and to rural cultural heritage. And then, of course, the final aim of the project is, in this way, empowering women living in rural areas by providing them opportunity of employment, both also including self-employment and the development of entrepreneurial initiative, as I said before. So one of the key aspects of the project, key concept behind the project, is the concept of multifunctionality. So what is basically multifunctionality? I think that most of you have heard about it, but anyway, just to give a general definition, multifunctionality in farming means combining additional services with the agricultural production. So one of the most typical kind of multifunctional activities is tourism and recreation. For instance, agritourism or rural tourism. But there is a wide set of activities that can make European farms in general different and differentiating their main source of incomes. For instance, producing quality organic or traditional products, on-farm sales, or other distribution channels based on short supply chains, green services, which includes bioenergy crops, renewable energy, etc. Training and didactic activities carried out on farm, and social farming. So why multifunctionality is important? Because it is a tool that, apart from providing different sorts of incomes to farming entrepreneurs, also reconnect the farming activities to the society. And this becomes especially true when the multifunctional activities include some aspect related to cultural heritage. Rural areas are very rich in terms of cultural and natural heritage, and this has been considered in literature by a potential driver for rural development and economical, but also social and environmental sustainability. So, for instance, if we think about the rich gastronomy or the environmental richness and the role of farmers, we see that farmers can be able of conveying these cultural values related to rural areas and create connection between the citizens that are receiving these services, and the rural and farming world. One thing that we noticed is that even if only the 30% of the European farms is managed by women, when farm, and especially family farms, includes this kind of multifunctional activities related to the rural heritage, those activities most of the times involves women. But here again we have another gap. Women are very much involved in this kind of activities, but most of the time are not leading and managing those activities. So the challenge for us was to provide some training contents that would empower them, to make them able to take the entrepreneurial initiative on these businesses. Okay. So this is the general framework of the project, and why we decided that developing training material in these areas could be relevant to reduce this gender gap that women are suffering in European rural areas. So here we have, of course, we develop a project website where you have all the information that I just mentioned. You have detailed information about the project partners, detailed information about the activities that we carried out in these 2 years and a half. And you also have a link to a training app, which is the, let's say, the main outcome of our project. So the training app is, we use a very user-friendly approach. So the contents are very intuitive. The structure of the web page is very also easy to navigate. It's available in the 5 languages in 6 languages. The 5 languages of the consortium plus English, and is structured in 3 main training tools, to say so. A report about the overall context that I quickly described to you, some case studies representing a successful entrepreneurial initiative that have been carried out by women in the involved partner countries. By the way, on the left side of my slides, you can see the 17 women that have been involved in our case studies, and then there is the, let's say, more traditional training sorts that are training models. So basically, the training path that we designed will begin in the summary report. That is a document that is available both on the web and in a PDF format to be downloaded, as all the other contents of the training platform or training application. And basically, it's aimed at providing an understanding of the possibility offered by multifunctional farming activities linked to cultural and natural heritage in terms of employment, including also self-employment and starting a business initiative. Then the second part of the training platform, the second training tool included in our training app platform, are 17 case studies from the 5 countries involved in the project. And I think that this probably is the most inspiring part of our web page, because it describes in a detailed way, and we will see later on exactly how the case studies are structured, all experiences of women that developed their businesses in the rural areas, keeping in mind the multifunctional approach and the rural heritage. And I think that this is can be really inspiring, because on the case studies we can see clearly how these women overcome challenges, and they faced a lot of difficulties to overcome the gap that we mentioned before. and achieved to be successful entrepreneurs. So I think that this can be really inspiring for other women willing to carry out this kind of initiative. And then we have 5 training modules that basically are, let's say, the most traditional training tools available on the platform that cover key topics that are very relevant to acquire the needed competencies to start an entrepreneurial initiative. And just very quickly, the 5 topics that we treated in the different training modules have been rural development through multifunctional farming and cultural heritage, startup entrepreneurship with multifunctional farming, management of multifunctional farming activities, business communication and marketing in rural areas, and professional family life balance. So this is quickly an overview about the project activities and the training contents and the result that we developed. And I think that now we can play a short video introducing the training app, and then I will show you live how this looks like on the web.
Welcome to Reward. With this video, we will guide you through our training platform. Reward aims to support you and other women living in rural areas to diversify the scope of your farming activities, create employment opportunities, in addition to preserving and promoting the cultural heritage of your region. Our training material will provide you with the knowledge and skills needed to carry out a fulfilling business initiative based on multifunction activities related to rural cultural heritage. But first, what is multifunctionality and how is it linked to rural cultural heritage? Multifunctionality in farming means combining additional services with the agricultural production. Those services can be, for instance, quality, organic, and/or traditional production, tourism, and recreation, on-farm sales, green services, training, didactic activities, and social farming. Multifunctionality reconnects farming to the society, and this is especially true when it includes elements related to rural cultural heritage. When selling a traditional product or guiding a visitor through a rural landscape, the farmer is conveying cultural values and creating connections between the citizens and the rural and farming world. The Reward training path consists of 3 main elements. An overview about the economic and social situation of rural women in the EU, which will help you to identify employment opportunities linked to multifunctional farming activities related to rural cultural heritage, such as rural tourism, and direct sale and valorization of traditional agricultural products. Case studies about the most relevant entrepreneurial initiatives carried out by women in European rural areas, linking multifunctional farming with cultural heritage. Training modules that will provide you with the knowledge needed to start and manage your own business linking multifunctional activities and rural cultural heritage. In the training modules, presented in introductory videos, you will find more information about rural development through multifunctional farming activities that relate to cultural heritage, startup entrepreneurship with multifunctional farming, management of multifunctional farming activities, business communication and marketing in rural areas, professional, family, life balance. We recommend that you have a look at the report and then go through the case studies by selecting those most relevant to your situation using the keyword filter. Be inspired by business initiatives carried out by women around Europe, and then dive into our training modules to deepen your knowledge about specific aspects you may need when starting your own business. Enjoy, learn, and remember, women are the present and the future of rural areas.
Okay, so thank you very much. This was the introduction video for the training platform that is available also on the training platform itself. And now we will take a live guided tour through the learning platform. So are you able to see my screen, right? Yes, I think so. So this is the landing page, the home page of the training platform. Here you can see the videos that Martin from ILO just showed, and the three different main training tools that we just mentioned. You can access also by clicking on the top menu here. And as you can see, the web page is fully available in the 5 languages of the consortium countries plus English. So if we access to the summary report, you can find here an infographic with that I already showed on my presentation with the main few statistics related to the rural women situation. And then you have the main findings of the report divided in 3 different areas, so rural women, employment and entrepreneurship, multifunctional farming, and the cultural heritages and employment opportunity. You can download the PDF here. So here you will have the full documents to be downloaded, and also download the PDF in other languages. Okay. Then the next section, that is a little more complex than this one and provides more detailed information on another topic. So are the case studies. As I mentioned before, we gather 17 case studies from 5 European countries that involve successful entrepreneurial experience of women living in European rural areas. So here you have a map of all the case studies, and you have 3 filters to select them. Okay, so when you access the page, you will be able to see all the 17 case studies, and then you can filter by country, by keywords related to the main farming activities carried out in the farm represented in the case study. So here we have different kind of activities, and then we also have another drop-down menus with multifunctional and cultural heritage related keywords. So as we can see here, we have defined the different multifunctional activities, as I mentioned in my presentation, plus different kind of natural and cultural heritage, like for instance, traditional architecture or agricultural landscapes, etc., etc. Okay, so we can filter here, submit, and we will see which are the case studies that involve agricultural landscape, for instance. Okay, so if we then access the case study, here we can see the complete case studies that is covering different aspects. We start with a short introduction. Of course, all the training materials are available also in PDF, and I will show you later how the PDF of the case study looks like. Then we have a quote from the woman herself, and then some personal data about the name of the woman, the age range, education, occupation, etc. Some information about the farm, including the number of workers, where the farm is located, even if, as you have seen before, we can see also the location of the farm on the map, the area, and since when the entrepreneurial initiative has been carried out. We have a short farm description, and then, of course, links to the web page of the farm and social media if available. Then there is a description that is probably one of the most interesting part, that is the part about how the entrepreneurial initiative is related to multifunctionality and rural cultural heritage. and then some consideration, including general consideration from the author of the case studies, that is one of the who is one of the project partners, and also the training and competencies involved in this entrepreneurial initiative. And to conclude, we have a SWOT analysis covering strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of this specific case study. As I told you before, on the top of the case study page, we have this button to download it as a PDF, and here is how the case study in the downloadable version looks like. So it's exactly the same kind of information, but in a PDF version that can be easily downloaded and printed if needed. Then the last section of our training platform are the training modules. As I told you before, we developed 5 training modules covering the topics that we thought that were more relevant to develop specific entrepreneurial competencies related to multifunctional activities and rural heritage. And here we have a short introduction that is quickly explaining to the learner how to use the case studies, and then, the training modules. And then we have the modules list. We have 5 modules. For each module, we have an introductory video that is explaining basically what are the contents of the module itself and what are the foreseen learning outcomes of the module. On this button, we can have a preview of the contents of the module, and then by clicking on the green button, we can access the module itself. Again, we have the possibility of downloading the contents of the module in PDF format. I will show you later how it looks like. And then we have a short overview about the module, the learning objectives in terms of knowledge, skills, and competencies. And then here we have the 3, in this case, there are 3 chapters of the module. If we click on the drop-down menu, we will see the different contents. Okay, as you see, it's very well structured and divided in sub-chapters that are very easy to navigate, and we try to provide the basic information without generating a lot of content, so the information goes straight to the points and is also integrated with a lot of external links that send to other web pages and other searches that are available online. And also there are some links to specific other web pages, as I told you before, about other interesting documents available online. And there are also some links to the different case studies. So when we are mentioned a specific aspect related to one of the topics treated in the module, we refer also to a real entrepreneurial initiative available on the case studies. I have like 2 minutes, right, Emma? Okay. Then below the contents, we can find the main conclusions of the training modules and a few self-reflection questions to reflect on the contents delivered available in the training module itself. And at the end, we have some self-assessment exercises that are different kind of exercise, like fill in the blank, drag and drop, and different kind of quiz. And at the very end, references and links that are mentioned also within the training models, the training model itself. Very last thing, this is the PDF. In case you would like to print the document, there is this ND PDF version that can be downloaded and printed. So this is pretty much everything, and it has been fast, but I think that you will have the possibility of contacting us if you want to access to the training material. And one very important thing that I didn't mention, everything is available free of charges, and you can not only use it for your own learning experience, but if you are a teacher or a professor and you would like to use these materials, modify them, and transfer to your learning and teaching, especially activities, you can perfectly do it without any restriction. Okay, so I think that this was it regarding the live demo of our training app. Now we have another short video that gathered some testimonial of the 17 wonderful women that have been involved in the case studies, that even if they, you know that farmers are always very busy, it's a very demanding job, so we have been bothering them for a while, and they have been so kind to dedicate us some of their time with interviews, filling questionnaires. So I would like really to thank them again. We will see them some live testimonials from these women. And here we have a short, let's say, teaser video about the women that have been involved in Reward Project.
Hello, my name is Charlotte Basson.
Hola, buenas tardes, soy Manuel Herrera.
Yo soy Emilia Rojamonte.
Podeželje živim in iz njega črpam energijo in ideje za svojo podjetniško in osebno rast.
Zawsze warto jest spełniać swoje marzenia, trzeba mieć wizję, trzeba być zdeterminowanym, nie wolno otaczać się ludźmi, którzy mówią, że czegoś nie możesz.
Današnja ženske iz svojega hobija, ki so doma na podeželju, naredijo za sebe nekaj.
Co bych mohla doporučit? Jestli se někdo chce pustit do farmaření, tak to rozhodně udělejte, protože je to krásný život.
Sé partícipe a las personas que tienes a tu alrededor de lo que estás haciendo. Tratar también siempre de ayudar al resto de empresarios que contigo quieran colaborar.
Je recommande également de toujours rester à la pointe de la technologie lorsque c'est possible et d'apprendre des autres. Je vous remercie.
Que hay que trabajar mucho, muy duro, sin recibir nada a cambio. Y luego después vendrá la recompensa.
Jest to na pewno przygoda dla kobiet, które się temu oddadzą, które stwierdzą, że na wsi jest przyjemnie mieszkać, które kochają wieś, bo to też trzeba jak gdyby czuć, bo jeśli coś się czuje i się to robi na co dzień, to idzie to tak z serca. Jak idzie z serca, to wtedy to się wszystko zaczyna pięknie składać, realizować.
Hoy día toda mujer que tenga una ilusión, un proyecto, pues lo debe de llevar a cabo, porque luego las mujeres tenemos una cosa, que tenemos mucho sentido común, mucha iniciativa y sobre todo mucho esfuerzo y continuidad.
Trzeba mieć świadomość, że nasze życie jest krótkie, żeby tracić je w nudnej pracy. Trzeba chcieć, a jak się chce, to się może i warto jest spełniać marzenia.
Yo creo que lo fundamental es compartir lo que uno tiene, disfrutar, porque si no se es feliz, no sirve nada.
So thank you very, very much. That was it from my side. If you want more information about the project or the results, feel free to contact me or to access the project webpage or contact us through social media, and we will be really glad to inform you about the project or to reply to your doubts or questions. So thank you very much. Thank you again to the project teams. And now I think it's time to leave the floor to the real protagonists of this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacopo, once more for this and for the work also. And I would say, yes, that's the time to give the floor to the true heroes also of this project. So I'm very happy because you can see the three speakers we will have also for the Q&A session after the presentations. But we will start now with Ms. Agnieszka Sender. She will tell us her story. She's based in Małopolska region in the smallest Polish national park called Ojców. It's also very close to Kraków. And I'm very also happy to underline that Ms. Sender won already quite a lot of awards in the past, especially the Innovation Award for Women Farmers in 2018 with her mother, so with her mom also. And she has been also the ambassador for rural innovation for the Horizon 2020 liaison project. So I'm very happy because we will start soon also with your presentation. And then after we will have also Ms. Andrea Bizak and Ms. Galina Pejczela-Miteva joining for the Q&A session. So if we could start now by the video of Ms. Sender, and then we will proceed with her presentation. Thank you.
Zawsze kochałam naturę, zawsze kochałam przyrodę. Po 25 latach pracy w branży IT przeprowadziłam się 12 lat temu na wieś i zamieszkałam tutaj w okolicy Ojcowskiego Parku Narodowego. Wtedy zostałam też sołtysem, zaczęłam pracę społeczną i współpracując z Parkiem Narodowym zobaczyłam, że są stawy, które są jednym z najpiękniejszych miejsc w Polsce. I rozpoczęłyśmy w ten sposób z córką hodowlę. Miejsce, w którym się znajdujemy, ma 160 milionów lat i znajdujemy się na dnie morza. Dlatego panują tutaj specyficzne warunki, które wspaniale przyczyniają się do hodowli pstrąga potokowego. Dlatego jesteśmy jedyną hodowlą w Polsce pstrąga potokowego do celów konsumpcyjnych.
Moja mama tchnęła życie w te stawy. Zobaczyła to, czego nie widzieli inni. Pomimo 80-letniej historii stawy były przeznaczone do zasypania. I mimo, że z mamą mamy całkowicie inne charaktery, to odnalazłyśmy swoje role życiowe tutaj właśnie w Ojcowie. Mama zajmuje się całym zarządzaniem, hodowlą, czyli tym sercem naszej działalności, natomiast ja zajęłam się bardziej komunikacją, marketingiem i prowadzeniem marki. W ciągu 4 lat udało nam się sprowadzić nową falę turystów, którzy podążają szlakiem turystyki kulinarnej, co obudziło też, ożywiło lokalną społeczność. Bierzemy udział w różnego rodzaju festiwalach, targach kulinarnych. Współpracujemy z szefami kuchni, którzy cenią sobie lokalny produkt. Klienci też wiemy, że między sobą zapraszają się tutaj, właśnie wymieniamy doświadczenia, rozkoszują się naturą i chcą żyć tak jak my. Ostatnio dochodzą do nas coraz częściej takie informacje bardzo miłe, że stajemy się inspiracją dla innych. Ludzie przyjeżdżają tutaj, widzą jak żyjemy, jak prowadzimy działalność i mówią, że też chcą tak żyć, tylko się boją. I zawsze powtarzamy, że my też nie wiedziałyśmy, jak się hoduje pstrągi, ale jeżeli w coś się wierzy, to trzeba spróbować i to robić.
Hodowla jest rzeczą bardzo trudną, ale praca z ludźmi, a zwłaszcza z mężczyznami, jest jeszcze bardziej trudną rzeczą. Wymagało to kilku lat, aby mężczyźni zaczęli szanować to, co robimy i uznawać nas jako równorzędnych partnerów. Na tym etapie, w którym jesteśmy w tym momencie, mężczyźni sami do nas przychodzą hodowcy z innych stawów i proszą nas o pomoc. Stałyśmy się inspiracją dla innych kobiet i to jest bardzo cenne, bo same zaczęły wierzyć w siebie, zaczęły korzystać z życia, doceniać swoją wartość. Dla mnie jest to bardzo wielkim osobistym sukcesem, że udało mi się kogoś zmotywować, ktoś podjął działania, a zwłaszcza kobiety. Zawsze możemy osiągnąć cele, które sobie wyznaczamy. Można skorzystać z pomocy rodziny, przyjaciół, sąsiadów. Tylko najważniejsze, żeby włożyć w to serce i nigdy się nie poddawać. I wierzyć i kochać to, co się robi. Nie poddawajcie się, dziewczyny, bo to jest najważniejsze. Róbcie swoje, a będzie dobrze.
So thank you very much. That was the video, and then we will also leave the floor to Agnieszka to present her expertise from the field and share her experience.
Thank you, Emanuel. I show my presentation. Hello, everyone. It's really nice to be here, and I think it's a great experience for me to be here. So let's start. The location. Our location is very important thing because our fish farm is located in the Ojców National Park in Małopolska. It's one of the most beautiful national parks and it's the smaller one. So it's very important because it's very specific place. We have a beautiful tradition and history. The tradition of farming the broad trout in the town of Ojców dates back to the 1930, founded in the 1935 on Duchess Maria Ludwika Czartoryska, a woman too. And the fishery was one of the first in the Poland and one of the first in the Europe. So I think it's a great history and tradition. Currently, in the Ojców trout included 7 fish. Sorry, I have a little problem. Yes, one moment. Yes, okay, sorry, now it's okay. So our currently the Ojców trout fish farm includes 7 fish ponds. We have only 7 fish ponds, like you see. And the relation Beta Pond, the Munówka stream together with a waterfall and historical hatchery, and the part of the building called Rybakówka. This is all our place. And the most important thing, in 2013, together with my mother, we brought back trout farm in Ojców. It was very spontaneous and unaccepted action. We had no idea what we are going to do. Maybe working with my mother is not easy, but we share the same values and we love what we do. So we are here still. And our first steps was very difficult because the plants were completely destroyed and no one believed that we would succeed. It was very difficult to start all over again. Now you see how it looked like. How it was looked like. Now it's really better. And our farming process is based on traditional methods of production. We do not use industrial techniques to encourage the growth and weight of the fish. Everything is natural in our farm. And we attach great importance to marketing and communications in the media, the social media. We think it's very important in our time. And now you can see how it what was looked like in 2014 and how it looked like now. Thanks to our activities and promotion, we made Ojców a popular and fashionable place. We had a lot of tourists now. And also, we have received many awards and certificates in Poland. It's really nice, and it's a great honor to us. We feel obligated, and very important event for in our life was in 2018. When we became a winner of edition of the competition for the European Innovation Award for Women Farmers. It was really important event and changed a lot in our lives because we were in the European Parliament, we got awards, and we thought that it's very important not only for us but for the another woman. So we having received the Innovation Award for Women Farmers, I feel obligated to talk about the role of women farmers and their significance for agriculture. Both in Poland and Europe, women are central pillars of family farms, which constitute an essential aspect of sustainable agriculture policy. There can be no strong rural Europe without strong female farmers. Yes, it's the most important things, and it is women who encourage rural innovation. However, we need proper tools, funds, and support to continue our work. Based on my personal and professional experience, I believe the various farms run by women form the basis of the infrastructure in the rural areas. Both in Poland and Europe, we might find a lot of inspiring examples of women's involvement in the agriculture, which can give other incentives and undertaken their project. It's important to offer women new prospects, motivate them to take the first step and support their action. As women, we should try to make our involvement in the agriculture activities more noticeable. And about it is, I think it's time. It is about time to challenge common stereotypes. Our enterprise can serve as an example of farming, which is far from being old-fashioned. Combination tradition with modern means of communication and sales strategies is fundamental for our farm's development. But still, we should not forget where we come from and what our roots are. However, we should adjust to the fact the world is constantly changing as we are. And I think it's a bit short, but it's very important things which I want to say you in this meeting. Thank you for your attention. If you have a question, I will of course write to me, and I will be answering. Thank you a lot.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sender. That was really interesting, and I'm very happy that we will have the time to have some discussion and also in the question answer session. So also I would like to remind to our audience that if you would like to ask also any questions, please don't forget you have also this possibility, and you can send us the question. We will use in few minutes time when discussing with our panelists. But I would like now also to ask Ms. Andrea Biziak to present her case study. So we will start by her presentation, and then we'll have also a short video to watch. So if you could put on now Ms. Biziak presentation, and we will start with this one.
So, good afternoon to all. My name is Andrea and I am 40 years old, and I will describe you my way of living and working in countryside. After I finished the commercial trading school, I met my life partner. We are now 20 years together and we live in an alpine valley called Logar Valley. Our house is called Eco House Naraspotio, where we have working in tourism, catering, and we also offer wellness and self-ness services. On 2 hectares of area, sorry, maybe slideshow of the, yeah, hello?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. We are just fixing this, and if not, in the meantime, if you could only,
yeah. So we are now 20 years together, and we live in an alpine valley, and our house is called Eco House Naraspotio, where we work in tourism, catering, wellness spa, and all self-ness services. On 2 hectares of area, we have a theme park, and we cultivate herbs also. We do our own gin, we do essential oils, we do hydrolytes, and we also do many different kinds of domestic food products. My partner Primoz was born and raised in this valley, and as a 20-year-old student from the city, I did not realize what living in countryside means. But soon I noticed that there are only 2 options to survive economically. So rather I go to work in a city that is at least 75 kilometers away, or I stay at home and start working with availability that I have. And availability that I had was to start work with the land, to start listening the nature, and what is the most important thing is to look back and maybe see what cultural heritage offers me. In last 10 years, I also did a couple of new educations, which were organized through European programs, and it really helped me to develop so many different additional activities. So, however, life surprised me when I gave birth 3 months earlier to my twins that are now 18 years old teenagers. A daughter is a healthy young woman who now helps us at our work, but still she would like to be a vet doctor. And we have also a son who is a person with special needs, with cerebral palsy, and he is on a wheelchair. So despite of all personal problems, fear and concern that we had, I still wanted to fulfill my dreams to become a beautician. And now I am grateful that my partner supported me to this education. So now I have a diploma of all cosmetic services, and I can always offer a lot of treatments to our guests using alpine plants. After few years, I wanted to offer to our adult guests some special sport activity that can be implemented in all 4 seasons. So I did a course to become a Nordic walking guide. Soon we noticed then that there are also children as guests that need some animation in the nature. So as we had a lot of unused land around the house, we created a theme park in the woods for individual guests. So then we called it Fairy Tale Forest because it had fairy tales inside. It includes old local fairy tales, forest pedagogic and sensoric tasks. So children could use their 5 senses between nature and between local fairy tales. However, we caught the attention also of Slovenian schools and kindergartens, and they have become then our loyal guests. So for them, I organize animations and special workshops that present local cultural heritage. This kind of work helps also local people to be part of this story. Over the years, I must say, I wanted again to upgrade my knowledge. So I signed up for herbalist by national professional qualification by leader European funds. So I got a diploma of and permission also to sell my products officially with my own brand. And then after long years of hard work, we noticed that we are already burned out, and we decided to do some change in our lifestyle, but still live and work in countryside. By this transformation helped us a philosophy of permaculture. This is a philosophy of 3 principles: to care for the earth, to care for the people, and to share abundance. So we created a program called The Pure Power of Nature, which includes well-being of guests, our staff, and most important thing, well-being of our family. As we wanted to offer treatments using nature but not destroy the nature, I went to educate myself and learn more about Sebastian Kneipp therapy in Germany, in Bad Wörishofen. At home, we did a Kneipp's garden, hay baths, and therapy with the music of plants. We also invited specialists who shows and mentor us how to use positive energy spots in our surrounding and how to impress our guests with them also. So I think now we are all happy, also our guests and our staff and my family, because we all have things how to be relaxing and how to be healthy. So I can say there are 3 words that describe my way of working, and it's very simple. First word is sustainable living and development. Second is my care for the environment, and the third is tradition. I am grateful. I live in a small European country, and through which we also got a help of European funds, which helped me to insist to stay at home, to work and be in the same time with my family, who also needs me. Always, last year we also received a sign, European Eco Label. This was confirmation of mine and my husband's work. For the end, I would recommend to all women in countryside to stay there and not giving up, to follow their dreams, that everything is possible. And for the end, thank you to all of you for the chance to share my story with you. And I wish to all ladies all the best. And now, after slideshow of my PowerPoint, I am inviting you to see our work through our video. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Logar Valley Landscape Park. At Eco House na Rasputju and Hotel Plesnik, you can enjoy a comfortable stay in an enchanting environment. In close contact with the natural materials and nature that surrounds us. The forests and mountains put a spring in your step and make your heart beat. Taking deep breaths connects us even more with nature. The rhythms of the forests transfuse through the body. Taste allows us to reach deeper into perception, memory and nature, which conjures up beauty and tales. Listen to them by the glow of the fire and let your heart be kindled. Allow the flames to guide you on your way, to experience the beauty and energy of the pristine nature. Open yourself to the soul of the mountains flowing through mountain streams. Here, the scents of nature find their way to us. Tables laden with delicious fare boast a range of flavors offered by the environment, tradition, and creative ingenuity of local people. Organic, local, and inspirational. The tastes of Solchava bring a smile to the face. The warmth and charm of the mountain landscape can be felt throughout the year. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Being active leads to relaxation, happiness, and well-being. Even in the colder months of the year, there are plentiful opportunities for creative socializing, outdoor activities, finding your inner self, and experiencing the Logar Valley in an active way. Indulge your curiosity by taking a browse through the treasury of tastes of our ancestors. Calm down and listen to your body and mind in the lap of the Alpine Eco Wellness Center. The beneficial warmth of herbal drinks infuse the active ingredients of nature into the body. Relax in a hay bath with the essential oils of domestic plants and allow the touch of nature to soothe and invigorate. Proven methods encourage self-healing of the body and mind. Be invigorated by anti-stress pampering, cleansing, and maintaining your well-being. The natural cycle of the seasons supports the rhythm of life. Contact with nature is contact with oneself. Trees make music that the earth draws in the sky. Feel the earth. Let water strengthen you as it enlivens the valley when it flows through it and onwards into the world. Logarska Dolina, the pure power of nature.
Thank you very much for this presentation, Andrea, and it's really giving us, or at least me, the will to travel even more than before, because that's between what we saw with the Strong Ojców and Lugarska Dolina. It's really time also to reconnect with nature even more. So thank you once more, and then I will come back to you with some questions during the question and answer session. So thank you very much.
Yeah. You are welcome.
And thank you. And now I have the big honor also to announce as speaker Madame Christiane Lambert. We will have her presentation in French, and my colleague Martin Fox will translate that to English also for the audience. Madame Lambert, merci encore d'être avec nous. Je sais que vous êtes extrêmement occupée actuellement avec cette période de crise, de gel et de tout ce qui se passe avec la météo en France. Donc, on a vu des belles choses quand la nature était notre allié, mais on est en train maintenant de subir aussi des conséquences quand la nature n'est pas l'allié des agriculteurs. Mais je vous laisse donc la parole pour votre présentation et notre collègue va le traduire en anglais. Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, madame, et merci pour l'invitation que vous m'avez lancée à participer avec vous. Je suis ravie de me retrouver avec des agricultrices qui ont beaucoup d'actions innovantes et qui jouent un rôle très important dans la vitalité des territoires ruraux.
Hello, thank you very much for inviting me here. We are very grateful to be invited to participate alongside so many women farmers, and we are looking forward to providing insights.
La belle nature que nous avons vue dans la vidéo à l'instant est effectivement très belle, mais parfois les éléments se déchaînent. Il y a parfois la neige, les tempêtes, et cette année, dans un certain nombre de pays européens, c'est le gel très fort qui a détruit des cultures, des vignes, des fruits, des petits fruits, et nous sommes aux côtés des agriculteurs. C'est historique. Une très grande partie de notre pays est touchée et il y a beaucoup de détresse chez les agriculteurs, d'où la nécessité de bien les accompagner.
The scenery that we have seen in the previous videos was extraordinary and very beautiful, but sometimes does not imitate reality. Over the course of this previous year, there have been multiple climatic events such as freezings that have hindered a certain amount of production.
Et j'ai vu ces derniers jours des agriculteurs et des agricultrices pleurer, des agricultrices très attachées à leur métier, des vigneronnes qui faisaient le constat que toute la récolte était perdue. Et cela est l'illustration parfaite du très fort attachement des hommes et des femmes au métier d'agriculteur et d'agricultrice. Et les femmes qui mettent beaucoup d'énergie dans la réussite des projets sont très marquées lorsqu'il y a ce type d'échec.
Over the course of the previous days, I've seen a large amount of farmers cry and plead over what has been happened over the past days, for they have not been well looked after.
Les femmes aujourd'hui en agriculture, les agricultrices sont des vrais professionnels. Longtemps, en agriculture, dans les différents pays, les agricultrices n'avaient pas de statut professionnel. Elles étaient les aides de leur mari, elles n'avaient pas de statut. En France, c'est seulement en 1961 que le mot agricultrice est rentré dans le dictionnaire.
For a long time, women farmers remained in the shadow of their husbands on their farms. They were the farmer's wife. It was however, legally and socially, the recognition of their work on farms has been slow. In France, it was not until 1961 that the feminine form of the word farmer made its entry into the French National Dictionary, and it will be a long time before they are no longer simply assimilated to family carers.
Et mes prédécesseuses, les femmes qui m'ont précédé dans les organisations se sont battues pour que les femmes aient un statut et des droits identiques aux hommes. Mais c'est seulement en 1982 que les femmes ont eu un statut et c'est seulement en 1988 qu'elles ont pu faire une société avec leur mari. Ça a été un très long chemin de reconnaissance pour les agricultrices.
My predecessors and the predecessors before them put a lot of effort in to be able to fight for equal rights that they see today. It was in 1982 that they were able to acquire the status of farm manager in the same way as their husbands in the GAECs. But at that time, the spouses could not be the only partners, and it was not until 2010 that they were finally able to be co-managers with their husbands.
Aujourd'hui, en France, nous avons 25%, un quart des chefs d'exploitation qui sont des femmes. Et beaucoup d'agricultrices n'ont pas encore le statut d'agricultrice au même titre que leur mari. Donc, c'est une augmentation du nombre de femmes. Il n'y en a jamais eu autant, mais par contre, elles sont insuffisamment représentées dans les organisations agricoles.
At the current time now in France, women farmers account for a quarter of farm managers, yet they are very unrepresentative in comparison to their husbands. So whilst there has been an increase in the net amount of women who are farm managers, their representation has not equaled.
Les femmes en Europe sont moins nombreuses que les hommes en exploitation agricole, mais il y a une caractéristique commune. Dans tous les pays, elles accèdent plus tard au métier d'agricultrice. Elles sont mieux formées, mais souvent se forment à l'extérieur, pas dans des métiers agricoles.
Throughout the European continent, there is a large men highly outweigh the amount of women farmers. In fact, women farmers enter the profession much later than their male counterparts, which explains why the average age of women farmers is 51.7 years, while that of male farmers is 48.4. It is important to attract women and young people to the sector, as only 4.2% of women farmers are under the age of 35.
Le fait qu'il manque beaucoup de jeunes femmes fait que nous avons besoin de renouveler les générations de jeunes agricultrices et agriculteurs. La population agricole est très masculine, trop masculine, donc il faut accueillir des femmes, plus de femmes dans les différents métiers de l'agriculture.
There aren't enough women inside the French agricultural sector, and efforts need to be done in order to attract them and in order to set a large amount of professional opportunities for them.
Les femmes dans les exploitations agricoles, très souvent, amènent une autre vision de l'agriculture et essayent de développer des activités différentes, une approche différente du métier, très souvent autour de la commercialisation, de la transformation des produits, de l'accueil, comme nous l'avons vu dans le film précédent. C'est une vraie plus-value apportée par les agricultrices.
As we can see, the French women farmers provide a large amount of different types of input, which can be very beneficial to the farms. It is important that their diversity is utilized, and that, as we have seen in the previous video, that the benefits that they can bring are incredible and very important for agricultural development.
Par leurs projets dans les exploitations agricoles, en développant des activités comme la transformation, la commercialisation, l'accueil avec du sport, du loisir, de la culture, de l'artisanat, elles rendent les campagnes, les exploitations et la campagne plus attractives. Elles contribuent beaucoup à dynamiser les territoires agricoles et ruraux.
Women farmers not only bring a large of important benefit in terms of the strict agricultural sector, but they can also provide a large amount of diversity and very much needed input into this sector.
Et c'est une façon différente et complémentaire de la production agricole classique.
It is a complementary and more, it is a complementary part of current agricultural practices.
Pour que les femmes puissent réussir dans ces projets, il faut que nous arrivions à résoudre la fracture rurale, l'accès aux services publics, la fracture numérique qui touche encore beaucoup de territoires, mais aussi la fracture et la différence liée au genre, c'est-à-dire que les femmes et les hommes ne sont pas perçus pareil par les banques ou par les interlocuteurs.
It must be said that agriculture is a profession whose image is still fairly masculine. Unfortunately, stereotypes are still very strong and particularly affect the beginning of women farmers' careers, especially in terms of training and setting up. Women face often a triple divide, a rural one, a digital one, and a gender one, which unfortunately gives them very bad disadvantages in line of example in banks or in many other cases as well.
C'est important pour les femmes d'avoir accès à ces éléments pour pouvoir articuler le temps professionnel et le temps personnel. Le temps personnel avec les gardes d'enfants, tous les services, l'éducation, le loisir pour les enfants, et le temps professionnel qui nécessite beaucoup d'investissement de temps dans les fermes.
Being able to obtain such services is very important for women, as they have a wide range of necessities that this would help them be themselves, as well as increase their input into the farm. These include things such as personal time, childcare, as well as family time.
C'est pour ça que c'est difficile aussi pour les jeunes femmes de s'engager dans les organisations professionnelles ou dans des projets très lourds, parce qu'il faut en même temps
avoir l'accompagnement des enfants, de la famille, quand il n'y a pas les services qui permettent de faciliter l'accueil des enfants en milieu rural.
That is why it is necessary for infrastructures to contribute to the implementation of innovative structures that take into account the constraints of this agricultural professions, especially when it comes to women farmers, which require the use of flexible formulas such as regular, occasional, or emergency care, and flexible hours such as staggered hours, weekends, holidays, summer periods, that all of these must be taken into account to foster proper women farmers development.
Mais c'est important aussi de montrer des femmes qui entreprennent et qui réussissent, notamment vis-à-vis des jeunes, dans les écoles et à différents endroits pour montrer la modernité du métier d'agricultrice.
It is very important, on the other hand, to also show the positive sides and the successful aspects of women farmers in order to attract more younger people. This can be done through outreach programs to schools, universities, and other educational facilities.
C'est ce que fait le comité des femmes du COPA en étant très actif pour la communication et la sensibilisation au métier de l'agriculture pour les femmes.
It is very much what the COPA organization does to serve as a bridge and outreach in order to increase awareness towards the successful women farmers cases and to increase attractivity to attract younger farmers, both men and women.
Et je crois que la vidéo l'a très bien montré, et le témoignage de la personne l'a très bien montré. Aujourd'hui, nos concitoyens ont envie de nature, ont envie d'habiter à la campagne, ont envie de manger des produits authentiques, naturels, et nous devons davantage nous tourner vers ces attentes, et les femmes ont une sensibilité particulière pour y répondre, et ça peut représenter de la valeur, des compléments de revenus, mais des belles opportunités de projets pour des femmes.
As the previous video clearly pointed out, there is very much a need and a want to spend more time in nature, and there is very much an opportunity for women farmers to take part in this process, to serve as an attractive industry and promote future youth employment.
Et avec le pacte vert, avec la stratégie Farm to Fork, avec aussi la volonté de Madame Ursula von der Leyen de travailler sur l'égalité entre les hommes et les femmes, il y a un cocktail qu'il faut regarder de près pour trouver des opportunités nouvelles pour les agricultrices dans le milieu rural.
Beyond the CAP, from the Green Deal to the Gender Equality Strategy, the von der Leyen Commission has set ambitious targets for an inclusive and equal society. Yet we must ensure that women farmers and rural women are not left behind, that a positive and successful cocktail can be made.
La sensibilisation à l'environnement, au respect de l'environnement, la volonté de donner une identité aux produits et aux régions est quelque chose qui peut être générateur de valeur, et c'est ce qu'il faut vraiment accompagner avec un message positif pour permettre à plus de femmes et de jeunes de venir rejoindre le rang des agriculteurs.
There are many efforts that are currently being undertaken in order to attract more young farmers. All these efforts take into account both the social, environmental, and cultural heritage of the landscape.
Et donc, pour finir, je dirais que c'est très important que votre projet de montrer les innovations en agriculture, les innovations sociales et économiques, mette en lumière des initiatives réussies et la dynamisation que cela a représenté pour les territoires et l'épanouissement que cela apporte aux agricultrices qui ont porté ces projets.
Your project shows the innovations that rural women and women farmers are implementing in their professional practices and the issues at stake in their political, associative, and trade union commitment. The increased participation and recognition of rural women in the economic and social sphere will have many benefits: job creation, reduction of inequalities, reduction of the risk of poverty, prevention of rural exodus, and ensuring that rural and agricultural activities contribute even more to biodiversity and sustainable food production.
Les agricultrices ont une journée avec la journée mondiale de la femme rurale. La FAO a bien compris que l'enjeu de l'alimentation devait compter sur les femmes justement pour l'alimentation, la production et l'accès à l'alimentation. Et cette journée du 15 octobre, il faut que nous arrivions à la partager davantage.
It is necessary that we promote positive communication on the work of women farmers, especially in their role of providing nutrition and food for the world, and the good initiatives carried out by them. We must honor women farmers on International Rural Women's Day on October 15th, but also throughout the year.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Madame Lambert. Si je peux seulement me permettre de vous poser une question avant de vous laisser repartir, parce que je sais que vous avez d'autres réunions aussi également aujourd'hui. Mais si vous pouviez donner une recommandation au niveau national, au niveau européen, pour comment intégrer encore plus les femmes agricultrices et la génération suivante pour vraiment entreprendre et rester dans le milieu rural, qu'est-ce que ce serait comme recommandation?
Je crois qu'il faut une combinaison d'éléments. Il faut d'abord être formé pour être agricultrice, mais il y a différentes façons de se former, formation initiale ou formation continue. Il faut probablement avoir un projet et être oser s'engager, ne pas se brider nous-mêmes sur des projets que l'on peut porter. Et au niveau des organisations, je crois qu'il faut mettre en avant des exemples réussis d'engagement de femmes à la tête des organisations. Je ne me sentais pas prédestinée à être présidente de la FNSEA ni du COPA, mais le travail, la reconnaissance sur les dossiers et puis l'envie de porter très haut le drapeau de sa profession est quelque chose d'important. Quand on aime son métier d'agricultrice, il ne faut pas avoir peur d'aller le défendre, même parfois dans des salles un petit peu difficiles ou devant seulement des parterres d'hommes. Et nous sommes dans une profession où les hommes écoutent peut-être plus que dans les entreprises. Il y a une reconnaissance du travail des femmes en agriculture par les hommes, peut-être plus que dans d'autres domaines.
Apologies, I was muted. When we are women farmers, we must stand up and fight for our profession and our livelihoods. We very much are in an industry where sometimes we are heard more often than in other industries or in other organizations. And sometimes men will listen to us more. But there is a requirement very much to offer a positive and more sustainable project work in order to increase women farmers and attractivity towards the sector.
Merci beaucoup encore une fois pour votre participation.
Merci à vous. Merci à vous et bravo pour cette initiative. Vraiment bravo. Et les femmes au sein du COPA sont formidables. Nous avons des femmes présidentes d'organisations, des femmes vice-présidentes, mais elles sont très, très engagées, très professionnelles dans de très nombreux pays, que ce soit l'Europe de l'Ouest historique ou l'Europe de l'Est aussi.
Bravo to all the women farmers, and in Copa Cogeca, we have a wide range of presidents and very engaged women all throughout the continent, from Eastern Europe all the way to Western Europe.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you once more, and I'm very happy because, as it was just said by Madame Lambert, we need more women also being more engaged in direct organizations and what we're calling manward. And I'm very happy here to present you our next speaker, Galina Pejcheva-Miteva, and she is involved in different organizations as a vice chairman of the Bulgarian Association of Farmers, also as a member of the Yellow Board, a winner of various awards also for agribusiness women in Bulgaria. So I'm very happy now to leave you the floor, and Galina, and to listen to your expertise from the field.
Thank you. It was wonderful to hear from all the participants so far, and it was definitely very inspiring for me, because when I first started out as a farmer, a very esteemed colleague told me that I'm very good at it, even though I am a woman. In my experience, times are changing and it's happening fast. Being female and working in agriculture as a farmer and a land manager may still not be exactly the norm, but precisely because of it, I have more visibility. The access to different platforms such as this one is a unique opportunity to connect to people and deliver the message and hopefully the example that women can have an instrumental role in the development of multifunctional farming activities. Regenerative farming, for example, has become more than a buzzword in the EU today. It has become a path to a more sustainable future. Women entrepreneurs within rural areas can be instrumental in demonstrating successful business models by promoting and scaling regenerative farming. Broadly speaking, regenerative agriculture is a conservation and rehabilitation approach to food and farming systems. It is relatively new to all farmers, regardless of their gender, so not only women, but also men are going to be relatively new to it. And women farmers and female entrepreneurs, in my opinion, can be instrumental in integrating the sustainability values of regenerative farming into strategies for the economic and social stability of rural areas. As a society, we have witnessed consumer demand for transparency and a multitude of labels and initiatives targeted towards sustainable food production. At the same time, it's important to note that we farmers do business just like any other business people, no matter if the farm is in Bulgaria or in Spain, and regardless of the gender of the manager. As managers, we assess risk, profit, and try to predict favorable outcomes. For a traditional farmer, farming for healthy soils, ecosystems, communities, and climate conflicts at many points with the conventional agricultural practice. Most farmers, again, regardless of their gender, grew up with the dominant conventional narrative that profits are solely tied to yields. Conventional agriculture benefits from the existing model, which has been providing training and support to farmers, driving a feedback loop of conventional crops and dominant metrics of yield. Regenerative farming, on the other hand, may well produce lower yields, but that does not necessarily equate to lower profits. On the contrary, farmers can be instrumental, and women farmers in particular, can be instrumental in demonstrating in practice that farms with established regenerative practices can be more profitable than those with only conventional practices, rather than the current one-size-fits-all approach across vastly different landscapes and climates across Europe. Regenerative farming demands regionally specific knowledge that is grounded in the particular crops grown within a specific region. Nature-positive farmers may give up some yield while making profit by growing higher margin crops and producing costly inputs. The problem is, it doesn't happen overnight, and it takes time and considerable try and error to get from conventional to economically successful regenerative farming. I have been managing our 1,200 hectare farm since 2007, and I am very proud to say that it is the poster example of a successful nature-positive business. We are profitable, we are sustainable, and we do way more than is required without sacrificing what is good for the environment. However, and there is always a however, it did not happen overnight, and it took almost 10 years to gradually find what works and what doesn't. The trial and error approach is costly and time consuming, and we made many unnecessary steps along the way. It took courage, perseverance, time, and a little bit of luck to get here. And as happy as I am to share the results, I am also a realist when it comes to its scalability. I can vouch that farmers will need practical evidence that the nature-positive approach will work before they try it on a large scale, and that they will accept the evidence regardless of the gender of the farmer. Farmers need peer models for what it will actually look like in their own region, and women can be instrumental in the promotion and scaling of regenerative farming. When the farming community comes, sees, and touches the crops, it will actually believe that this is possible. A few balance sheets will be very helpful too, And the fact that the model of farm is managed and run by a woman will not change the outcome. Women entrepreneurs can work to build resilient farms and help rural communities by hosting programs and field days, conducting on-farm research rooted in farmer questions, and building a peer-to-peer network of farmers exchanging knowledge and experience, because scaling the practice will require the cumulative impact of many individual farmers changing their own farm practices. There should be active and widespread support for sustainable farmers and innovative female farmers in particular. The cost of adoption must be shared in order to lower the bill for adopting conservation practices, and society should acknowledge and compensate nature-positive farmers for their entrepreneurship by sharing the burden of the cost of good land stewardship. So, as governments seek to enforce the Green Deal in a sustainable way, and the European Commission is charting ambitious climate strategies, decision makers should consider establishing regenerative farming as a legitimate path towards a sustainable agricultural future, and should empower women to be the decisive force in bringing it to scale. It was once again very inspiring to hear the stories of Agnieszka and Andrea, and it made me smile, a big smile, because it's great to see that we are doing it despite of everything. So thank you guys, it was great.
Thank you very much also for sharing with us your expertise from the field. And I think that now we are also in the moment when we can maybe ask you some specific questions, and also if you have questions between yourselves, please do not hesitate, because it's not only, you can also discuss between, you know, our panelists now. So I'm very happy to have again, in addition to Galina Pejčeva-Miteva, Agnieszka Sendor, Andrea Biziak, and Jacopo Benedetti joining also for this short session, because we have around 25 minutes to take some questions. So I would like maybe to start also with you, Galina, because you were already referring to the previous presentations. But if you could also say from your experience, what could be done in addition to truly reach to women in the rural areas, and also to bring more women to move and do more businesses, being more entrepreneurship in the rural areas? What would be your recommendation to do it?
I think if the policy comes, the result will follow, and our job here today is to brainstorm proposals by hearing different success stories that might help policymakers in finding the most efficient route to female entrepreneurship. We have seen enough determination in the EU Commission in changing how we view and implement agriculture and agri-policy, and empowering women can be part of the solution package. It will be a new approach for everyone, and adding more weight, let's put it that way, to women and their role in this change, I think can really enhance the outcome of the policy.
Thank you. So I will maybe have a question now for Jacopo also, because we have received some questions about European project, because we are saying that we need to give some additional tools, and especially now as it's also discussed under various reforms. So from a European project perspective, as you are involved in various of them, what would be also your recommendation here to give this possibility to enhance the entrepreneurial spirit for the women in the rural areas?
So what we should say is that gender equality to be achieved need to be worked at different levels. Of course, societal, family level is very important, but also, as Galina just mentioned, if policymakers doesn't work in the right direction to achieve gender equality, the effort at social level won't be enough, definitely. And what I can say is that we know that the European programs derive from the strategical policies of the European Union. And of course, one of the transversal policy that is affecting all the European programs is the European Pillar for Social Rights. And in the chapter 1 of the European Pillar of Social Rights, they explicitly mention gender equality. And this is not just a political priority. This reflects in the different European programs. So, of course, more can be done, but more opportunities in the different European programs. So it means more funds are allocated to achieve in a practical way this gender equality. And of course, these also affect rural areas, entrepreneurship, and all the sector that need to be involved to really get to reduce this gender gap. So this is what I can say. More can be done from a policy point of view, but in the last years, the gender issues have been on the top of the agenda. So repercussion from program levels are coming and increasing. So watch out, because opportunities are there.
Yes, that's true. We are also trying through various consortium to promote as YELLO and as partners involved in this ReORG project those opportunities. But I would like now also to ask Agnieszka and Andrea, and I will start by Agnieszka and then giving the floor to Andrea by a question. Have you been already involved in any of the EU programs, also giving you additional tools and financial means also, or other formation to develop your business? And from where are you taking your energy also to develop, you know, all those businesses and great ideas? Because we saw beautiful videos of your companies, but it means also a tremendous amount of work behind. So that's the two questions for you directly, and I will start by Agnieszka.
Yes, so in our activity, the most important thing is have a balance between nature, tradition, and business. We show the benefits of combining tradition with modernity and how to use the local potential. And therefore, now after 7 years of operation, despite various opportunities, we choose only those that are aligned with nature and tradition. This is a balance between responsive development and profit. We do not take opportunities that they're not in line with our values. We have a sense and awareness of the historical importance of the ponds in the oil field. So we make our decision very carefully. And the second question, yes, it was about.
Have you been involved already in any of the EU programs, and have you received any financial or advisory help from the EU programs from your personal expertise?
Yes, we got a little foundation to the education way, and we invest in the ponds, and it was one.
The experience was good enough to try again and to, you know, promote the idea to be involved in other European projects in the future. Would you recommend this also for other women in the countryside?
Yes, it was enough, and I recommend it.
That's very good. And Andrea, the same question for you, therefore.
Okay, the first question was about European funds, I think, yeah. I can say that more than 12 years ago, we had some chance to call by this energy, to to have a chance to have a project of fairy tale forest, to sign up for European funds. And we certainly got 50% of money from the European Union and also from Slovenian government. And this was the Ministry of like an agency for agricultural markets and also rural development. And they certainly supported us by doing this project of fairy tale forest as a thematic park for children. And also few years ago, when we were fighting to get this eco-label European sign for eco-labeling, there was also a chance to renovate our house with European Foundation money as energy renovation. And the Ministry of Economy, which also encourage entrepreneurship in rural areas, they supported us. So they give us also 70% of European money. So all the renovation was a lot of money worth it, but we got the help of European Union. So I am very grateful. I must say, I'm really satisfied and I'm really happy that instead of all people that are criticizing European Union and also in Slovenia, there are a lot of people that are criticizing our government and our work politics. But on the end, there is very important what you do, because I think that, and I can connect now on this energy. It is the most important thing is how is your energy and how you give all this, you know, vibration and everything. So the politics are they have their own fun, but otherwise, if I look to all Europe, I think we are happy that we live in Europe, that we are not part of America, of the United States or some other continents, that we still must see all the progress and all the circumstances and what Europe offers us. So it's only the problem that sometimes we don't have so much energy. But I think the most important thing is that you take the energy from your family, from the nature, and what we are doing it here in our valley is that we are also charging our battery from cultural heritage, and what people like old generation gave us, and what they now what we are now trying to do things right for next generation. So I think the most important thing is that really you must have focus, not to just look what everyone other are doing, and to put your energy to focus on your work. And I think there is a lot of chance to use nature and cultural heritage on sustainable way. So I think my energy is that I never wanted to be just a wife and a housewife and a mother. This is everything that makes me happy, but I am happy when I also work, and when I look back, I see now, and I must tell that your story with the Reward project makes me now like a confirmation of my work. And also when I see that I have a good story, that I did a good story, but it was everything very spontaneous. You know, I didn't say one day I will be a successful woman on rural and on this landscape. But it just happened, you know, because every day when I wake up, I have 1,000 ideas what to do, and then at the end of the day I notice that there is it should be 35 hours of day, not 24, because so ideas are very important. And then I know that a lot of meaning is when you have a partner that supports you. This is very important. So you must do on your balance, like you said, and the balance is very important. So it's not just important to work and to give other people all the best, but it's very important to give you also the power and to do a balance in your life. So that is why we did this program, to heal also me, and to to give power to all the family, not just to guests that are coming to our place, but also to me and my family and my staff also.
Thank you very much, Andrea, for this energy also coming from sharing with us your expertise and your experience, personal one. I think that we have plenty of very good ideas for the Slovenian presidency of the EU, which will go and the next in line after the Portuguese one. So I think that we can even send some good ideas to your government, just to be sure that women's role and how to enhance women in the countryside is taken into account, especially that we are now discussing the final steps of the CAP reform and strategic plan. So it's really the momentum to send some good recommendations. So if I could also come back once more to Galina, Agnieszka, and Jacopo, because of course it's very important also to include and have in your daily life this balance and try to diversify your farming, but how you are also managing to have those multifunctional sectors and still being profitable, because that's also very important. So how you're facing those challenges, if I could start by Galina and then go to Agnieszka.
To be honest, something is always losing money, and we are betting that we have a big spread of different crops. One will neutralize the other. It's very difficult to, especially in the current climate situation and with the climate changes, to stick to the traditional way of doing agriculture. It's changing very rapidly. And what we have tried to do on our farm is incorporate 8 to 9 types of crops. And in the meantime, I have also branched out into production. So now I'm making essential oils, rose oil, lavender oil. I'm currently planning installation for the cold press production of milk thistle oil. So this is one way of trying to be more profitable and more sustainable in the long term, by not only be a supplier of goods, but also a producer of a product. But I would say it's an ever-changing game. And if we come back to the remark about the CIP, the fact that we still don't have the CIP, we still don't have the strategic plans, makes it very difficult from a business perspective to plan our future and to it's great when the European programs are working, but if you don't know what is going to be priority and what is not going to be a priority, how can you plan a business? And agriculture is not a one-year business. It's a very long-term project. And I think we as farmers, not only as women, we lack the security of knowing what is expected of us, so that we can follow and excel in it. And it makes it more difficult to do our job successfully.
Thank you very much. And then I will go to Agnieszka with the same question. How to ensure that with all the ideas, with keeping the balance also between the environmental, cultural heritage, and the social balance to still be profitable, especially in your area? You have to unmute yourself, I suppose.
Emanuela, I have a question. Can you translate? Can I speak in Polish?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Czy dobrze zrozumiałam pytanie, bo chyba go nie miałam. Jakbyś mogła powtórzyć po polsku po prostu.
W jaki sposób zapewnić to, żeby nadal być dochodowym przy zachowaniu zrównoważonej ochrony środowiska i również innych wymagań, czyli w jaki sposób zapewnić przy dywersyfikacji to, że nadal jesteś dochodowa jako przedsiębiorstwo?
Znaczy przede wszystkim korzystamy z tradycji, jesteśmy zgodni z tym, co robimy, więc to jest dla nas najważniejsze i uważamy, że trend, jaki jest, utrzymuje się w Europie i na świecie, pozwala nam to pokazywać, w sensie pozwala nam to kontynuować, czyli powrót do natury.
So the most important is just to keep also the tradition and also to the so-called come back to nature. So really nature role is very important here.
Coraz więcej młodych osób jest świadomych, czyli tego, że zasoby się kończą, że po prostu potrzebujemy używać, potrzebujemy dbać o tą naturę i to jest też bardzo ważne dla nas.
And more young people especially are aware of the fact that we need to protect more nature because our resources are scarce, so we need to take care of the resources we have still on Earth.
Dlatego uważam, że podnosząc świadomość, naszymi działaniami podnosimy świadomość na temat etycznej hodowli, etycznego prowadzenia gospodarstwa, na temat lokalności produktów, sezonowości i tym sposobem chcemy po prostu pokazać, że to jest właściwa droga, że to jest jedyny cel, który jest.
So the most important for us is really to be sustainable, to speak about local products, to speak about ethics in producing your food, and that's the most important message here, how to also be profitable when taking care about nature and cultural heritage. Thank you very much, Agnieszka, also. And I think that the last question will go to Jacopo, because also to keep, I would say, the gender balance in this panel, I will ask you how men can support also women in thriving also in entrepreneurship and living in the countryside from your perspective.
As I mentioned before, I think that we can achieve gender balance if everybody is involved, and of course this means also us as men. And I think that it has been mentioned several times, and women are most of the time in rural areas much more trained and competent in many areas. So it's just about supporting them and letting them take in the lead of the entrepreneurial initiative. So it's really, I think it's important that they start taking the lead, and they need the support of the entire society, including men, of course. And then it has been clearly demonstrated by the experiences that we have seen today and the many others that have been participating in the project, that despite not easy situation, and despite in the first place having a tougher time when dealing with everything compared to the white male men, they still are capable to achieve amazing results. So that is it. I think that let women be entrepreneurs and take care of businesses, and success will be achieved if we all support them.
Thank you very much for sharing also your point of view, and I can say that yes, so it's great to be a woman in Europe, and therefore we need to take all the opportunities. So I hope that will be also the results of this REWARD conference. So I'd like to thank you, especially you as speakers, and also Madame Fessin-Lambert, who was not able to be with us here for this question and answer session, and also the audience. Thank you very much once more for being with us, and we do hope that you will enjoy discovering the training modules and the case studies, and do not hesitate to send us questions and directly to all people involved in this project. I would like, of course, once more, thank you all the partners being involved in this project and the team which supported also us to organize this event, this final conference, but also since November 2018 was here participating in this WeWorld Erasmus project. So thank you once more. Everything will be able to, the materials and the conference itself will be posted on the WeWorld website after, so you can enjoy it. And thank you very much. And goodbye to all the audience. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
And then if we could stay only for a group photo as panelists and organizers for the final report, then it would be very nice. And if I could ask all other partners to put on the cameras. And the team, of course.
Emma, if I may add minor things, I think that Lindsay put on the chat for the attendees before they leave, if they can fill a questionnaire to have a feedback about what they think about the project, the results, etc. It would be
evaluation form
for us. Thank you.
So we're going to take a group shot of everyone that was able to attend. Thank you for joining us. Julian or Martin, can you please take a screenshot here? Everybody, are you going to smile?
So everybody, I'm going to count down. And then as soon as, just look right in your camera and smile. So 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again to everyone.
To the guys at ELO and to the speakers. It was amazing to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you once more. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.